How is it going, everybody? As we head into this next generation, a big topic of discussion that is definitely going to be more relevant as people start looking at their checkout carts and start realizing how expensive these games are is the hiked up price point of video games. We are going into a generation where $69.99 for video games is going to become more of a standard, and I had talked about this quite a bit, but this is something that I want to bring more to the forefront and really get your guys' opinion on the situation and how you're going to handle buying games heading into this new generation, because I feel like a lot of us now are putting in our orders on Amazon, on Walmart, Target, whatever, or you're just budgeting yourself out for your PlayStation 5 launch, and you've come to the realization that $70 versus $60 actually makes quite a bit of difference. After you factor in tax, you're looking, for some people, these games are going to end up costing, $74 to $76. Personally speaking, when I added 2 PlayStation 5 games to my cart and went to checkout, and it was near $150, I was like, whoa, that is very, very expensive. This is coming from the Target sale where I did pick up Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Godfall, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, so thankfully one of those was free, but that is not going to be the norm. We are not going to get buy 2 get 1 free sales every, which way we look for new games. This was a special scenario where thankfully I was able to get Assassin's Creed Valhalla for free. However, going forward, when we're buying games like Demon's Souls Remake, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, these games are gonna be $70. Not to mention, there are special editions, Ascended editions for your Godfalls of the world that are, $70 for the standard copy of the game, and then I believe the Godfall special editions go up to $90 and then $100. And not to mention, you've also got games that have made it a core element of their, fundamental game design to include a microtransaction. So we're talking about video games becoming more and more expensive. Now, you can make the argument, okay, games are more expensive to develop for, and hey, games have been $60 for so long. Well, that is kind of a half-truth. Games have been $60, but if you're telling me that DLC has not become more prevalent, if microtransactions have not become more prevalent, you're out to lunch. There's a couple of studios that have been relatively good about not overdoing DLC and microtransactions. I look at a game like Monster Hunter World, and that game did it really well. They offered us many updates, and then they ultimately did release that Iceborne expansion that was $40, but it was such a big expansion that I was like, okay, you want to do that? More power to you, because I feel like I got my money's worth with that initial $60 purchase. However, and I'll mention it again, the idea of NBA 2K21 leading the charge, leading the pack, we're setting the standard, $70 is the new wave in next generation video games. I found that to be a little bit funny, and a lot of you guys were of the mindset, well, it can't be every game. 2K is just being a little greedy here. It can't be every game going to $70, and I had a little bit of hope that was going to be the case, but I also realized, $70 is probably going to become a bigger and bigger reality. And why I bring this up is because we are seeing one party in Microsoft going a different route in how they are going to offer their games to the consumer. They are very much promoting Xbox Game Pass, where it is $10 a month and you get access to all of these games, or you can sign up, for multiple months at a time. I personally have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and I kind of gimped the system and I got a lengthy subscription for a very, very cheap price. So that was nice, but you could also make the argument, well, Xbox Game Pass does not have that colossal library of high-quality titles like the PlayStation 5 is going to offer with the Demon's Souls Remake and upcoming titles that are probably going to be $70 as well. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, I don't know if Horizon's going to be $70, probably will be. God of War Ragnarok will probably be $70, and Final Fantasy 16 will probably be $70, but ultimately, you would have to think that Microsoft will be implementing games like Fable 4, like Avowed, like the Bethesda titles, all into Xbox Game Pass, so congregating that all into this subscription service that's $10 a month, or, if you got it cheaper, you got it cheaper. That seems to be more and more of an enticing option. I think a lot of people have realized this when they were, picking up their games and their console and making their PlayStation 5 cart. If you were picking up like a PlayStation 5 and like 3 or 4 games, boy oh boy, that cart price was pretty damn expensive, even more so than the PlayStation 4, which launched at $400, and then each game was still $60 a pop. That $10 differential might not sound like the craziest thing in the world to you guys, but I personally have noticed this generation that yes, while games have remained at that $60 price point, like, you'd have to be blind if you don't realize the maybe amazing is the wrong adjective to use because it's not a great thing for the consumer, but the extensive DLC that games are having, microtransactions, and you know what, I'm not gonna crap on Assassin's Creed again because I've done that too many times, but microtransactions in a lot of games. You see, like, the Ultimate Teams, which I believe Ultimate Team has been around for a long time, but they're making killings off these games, and they're still going to $70. Now, I give Sony a lot of credit because, you know, a Days Gone, Bloodborne, those games didn't have a lot of DLC. Bloodborne had Old Hunters, but for the most part, those games retained their price point, and they didn't go crazy off the wall with the DLC and everything like that. I mean, they are still fundamental $60 purchases, so I can understand where a game like God of War, maybe a ton goes in to develop a game like that, and they need to up it to $69.99. But I also argue the point that, you know, more and more people are buying games digitally, so aren't you making a ridiculous more amount of money by selling your games digitally? Look, I've never seen the breakdown, an official breakdown of how much money is being generated on a digital game sale versus a physical game sale, but we have a PlayStation 5 digital console, and when you're selling $60 console titles, I would have to think you are collecting a lot more revenue than when you sell a $60 game at your local Walmart, at your local Best Buy, GameStop, whatever the case may be, and more people are going the digital route, so you would think that would offset some of the need to increase the price points themselves. I feel like that's a factor that not a lot of people talk about. I feel like, you know, not a lot of people give weight to the fact that digital gaming has become a big thing, and when you're consuming media digitally, you would just have to think, like, I have no official confirmation on this, you would just have to think Sony and the developers are getting more money when it comes to that standpoint, so do they really need that extra $10? Now, I understand if a game is at the retail stores for $70, they have to make it digitally for $70 as well. They require that parity between digital and retail stores because you don't want to disrespect your retail partners like that by selling the game digitally on your own shop for $60 because that's going to undercut the retail sales of the game, thus ultimately affecting the relationship that these publishers have with the retail partners themselves. So I understand from that standpoint. My main question to you guys is, how is this going to affect you going forward? I always advocate, you know, waiting on sales, waiting on good deals. I know you guys already have crazy backlogs, and sometimes it's enticing to buy the latest game at launch. I'm kind of in the position where, you know, I'm buying games at launch, but that's because I'm talking about them on the channel and I'm giving you guys my opinion. However, I can also put myself into the regular person's shoe because I was there at one point, and, you know, buying a lot of these games for $60, $70, that's going to be a harder and harder sell as we move forward. And are you guys going to be more selective on what games you buy? For those of you that are buying PlayStation 5s at launch, like, are you being selective with which games are dropping $70 on? Like, Demon's Souls, okay, you got my $70 for that. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Godfall was a little bit, you know, not sold on them. Ultimately, I was going to pick them up anyway. The buy two, get one free on Target really put me over the edge on that, but I like to think about it from the general consumer's standpoint, where if they were at a store and they saw Godfall for $70, to me, I think that would be a skip for a lot of people just based on a $70 price tag. Call of Duty is huge, but I see a lot of people being disenfranchised with Call of Duty these days, so if you're in that market where it's kind of a 50-50, does that $70 price tag kind of put you off a little bit? These are questions that I want the answers to from the general consumer, so sound off in the comment section down below. Definitely interested to hear what you guys think, because this is something we're definitely going to wrestle with the rest of the generation. Who knows if, you know, sometime mid-gen we go up to $80. That would really suck. Let's not go up to $80. I think at $80 these games would be way too expensive, but sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.